Now, listen, you guys, it seems like the Grammy CEO addressed Nicki Minaj getting snubbed, and I have to admit that this is not something that I'd ever seen. And thanks to one of you who came into the comment section, I will try to look for their comment and basically pin it in this video. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. So I did a little bit of research and I realized that, of course, this man actually responded to the Nicki Minaj issue, but I also did realize that it's not recent, but it is, of course, pertaining the 2025 Grammys. And him saying that he's a fan, I don't know if I should believe that or not. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the Tea Plug. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So yes, the Grammy CEO allegedly decided to respond to somebody's queries and concerns when it pertains to Nicki Minaj and the Grammy nominations. There is a journalist who also says that she is a fan that decided to write an email to the Grammy boss, basically asking them, why are you guys snubbing Nicki Minaj? Is it a situation of, that you are holding on to what happened back in the day when you guys told her to not perform and then she still went ahead and performed? Like, is she blackballed? What exactly is this? And she decided to write an email directly to the Grammy CEO, whose name is Harvey, and it does seem like the man responded. And he said a lot of things, including the fact that he himself is a fan, and oh my God, it's 13,000 people who are voting. Who are these people? What are their credentials? On the basis of what? That's what we want to know. But anyway, let me not preempt the response. Let me insert snippets of what this woman had to say, and then we'll be dissecting everything together, okay?
So there's been a lot of conversation around why Nicki Minaj, yet again, did not receive any Grammy nominations at the upcoming Grammy Awards in 2025. I know, I'm a Nicki Minaj fan. I've watched her career over the years. I've enjoyed so much of her music. I mean, she makes so much good music. It's undeniable. She's extremely talented. And she has a catalog of songs that can go on for years and you'll never run out of stuff to play. Just a talented singer, songwriter, producer, actress. She's just bomb. Record label owner. And I wanted to know why. I had to find out why. So the journalist too. I've been writing for years. I have a degree in communications and journalism.
Okay, so her name is Tinsley Bradford, and I just have to shout her out for being able to do all this research and for taking it upon herself to reach out to this Grammy CEO. So let's hear what she found out and what this man had to say in their own defense.
But I am a Nicki Minaj fan, and I wanted to know why. So what did I do? I emailed the CEO of the Recording Academy, the Grammys, Harvey Mason Junior. I asked him, why did she not get a Grammy nomination? And he answered. So let's get into what was said. So let me also add this. Harvey Mason Jr., the CEO of the Recording Academy, the Grammys, he said himself that he is a huge Nicki Minaj fan. I thought that was just amazing, because how could you not be? So let's get started on what was said.
Now, hold on. As a fan, I would see why you would appreciate that this man is saying that he's a fan of Nicki Minaj. And I think the old me would have been excited as well. I would have said, okay, they're a fan. So it does mean that everything that they're going to say is very objective. But I have now begun to realize that a lot of people who disrespect Nicki Minaj, they start off by saying, I am a fan of Nicki Minaj. However, and then they proceed to disrespect her. So I do believe that them declaring that they are a fan is so that you look at them like they are not the hater that they probably are. That's what a lot of people do, especially people in corporate. They literally will come to you and say, I myself am a fan of Nicki Minaj. They always do this if you pay attention. I myself am a fan of Nicki Minaj. However, she was undeserving. However, she was like this. Like, that's how they always play. So personally, the whole I'm a fan thing is not moving me. You don't need to be a fan. We are not asking you to be a fan. We are asking you to be objective. We are asking you to be transparent. We are asking you to award talent, not likability. So the whole thing about, oh, I'm a fan, personally, I'm not buying it. Anyway, proceed.
So the subject line said, how are the Grammy artist nominees determined? Greetings, Harvey and team. I hope that you all are having a good week so far. Harvey, as the CEO of the Recording Academy, you've had to have quite a resume to get that role. You have to have done a lot in music and know music really well to land that title. And I won't lie, you do have quite a background, and I'm impressed.
Well, allow me to give the flowers when they're due. Okay, I just want to say shout out to Tinsley for being such a professional. The first paragraph, for those of you who may be like, okay, is she kissing behind? No, she's being professional. So I love the representation of the fan base like this. I love that it was in a formal setting, and because the narrative out there is that Nicki Minaj fans are crazy, Nicki Minaj fans are uneducated, and I'm like, have you seen Barbs? Like, I don't know where these people get there, and it's like they make up these things and they believe them. So for me to see, an upstanding woman like this, be this professional, I like it. Because you may think that she was kissing behind, but no, she's just playing chess. This is exactly how you get or you demand things from someone in a professional way. So shout out to her for that, for the first paragraph.
You've not only penned and produced songs for industry legends like Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Elton John, but also stars like Justin Bieber and also Beyonce, John Legend, Britney Spears, and also Ariana Grande and Justin Timberlake, and also Chris Brown. So I'm not going to read all of that or share the screenshot of the whole email, but I'm going to share what question I asked him. And I said, so Harvey, with all of your background in knowing music really well, I have a genuine question from a real fan of one of the top selling hip hop artists in the world, Nicki Minaj. I'm sure you know, according to Billboard, Pink Friday 2 is the highest selling female rap album of 2023 and also 2024. Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 world tour alone had 108 plus million total gross, 50,000 plus sold out shows across the globe, 750,000 plus seats sold, best-selling female rap tour in history, top 4 most successful rap tours in history. So why was Nicki not nominated for any Grammys for the upcoming 2025 Grammy Awards show? Okay? Has she really been blackballed from winning ever a Grammy for the rest of her career over one performance in the past? And I told him I'm not speculating rumors. I asked this question because it's been mentioned by the artist herself. And in my opinion, I had to tell him, there's no way the others that the Recording Academy selected for Best Female Hip Hop or nominees for anything are more worthy than Nicki Minaj. There's just no way.
Okay, I think she asked the right questions, and she did also make mention of the infamous incident that happened back in the day. And I'm curious to see how he is going to address that. Is he going to be direct with it? Is going to be, attacking the question head on, or is he just going to be evade exactly what this woman is saying? Because at the end of the day, if we're going to be honest, if we're going to be objective, if everything is based on talent, not likability, Nicki Minaj was the deserving person both in 2023 and 2024. So let's hear what this man had to say in response to this. In my own opinion, I think he's just going to sugarcoat around and, I don't know, play his way around the question and not address the question directly, because they do this a lot. I know this a lot. And I don't want to stereotype, but I have worked with his kind in the corporate world, and yeah, they will say a lot of words that don't mean anything. Like, okay, let me not stereotype, but let's see, maybe the outcome was different. Let's hear what he has to say. And I do say that the whole fan thing, I call BS on that.
Real quick, trying to make this fast, but it was a pretty nice email exchange between us. And I also mentioned in there that Nicki Minaj has suggested that industry politics may have influenced her treatment by the Grammy decision makers. Nicki Minaj has voiced her concerns and frustrations about her relationship with the Grammys, particularly regarding the categorization and recognition of her music. And she's right. I'm just keeping it real. She's right. One significant controversy occurred in 2012 when her hit single, Super Bass, was not nominated despite its success. Okay. So Nicki Minaj's case highlights ongoing debates about bias, categorization, and transparency in Grammy selections. And I just wanted to know, I asked him, I said, why do y'all treat her this way? I'd like to know.
Again, very direct. I appreciate her way, her line of questioning. No disrespect, but she's making it clear that she means business. So let's hear what the YT man says about this, because in my own opinion, at this point, this is becoming embarrassing. The bias is not even deniable anymore. And I mean, this award show is becoming like a joke. I mean, the board is becoming a joke. The show is becoming, a joke. So let's hear what he has to say in his defense.
So, let me see what he says. Oh, he responded, "Dear Tinsley, I received your note. Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts and pose these questions. Let me start by saying I'm personally a huge fan of Nicki Minaj and her music.
Now, this is the BS that I'm talking about. This is the nonsense that I'm talking about. It gives sort of gaslighting energy. It's like gaslightish. There's no such a word, but you get what I'm saying. It's giving, I'm going to say something positive about you and then crush your soul at the end. And I know there is a certain demographic that is very good at doing this, even in workplaces. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. There is a certain demographic that is notorious for this. Like, you're not being asked in the capacity of being a fan. You're being asked in the capacity of being a Grammy CEO. So address the matter as such. There's no need to pose as a fan just so people would think that you're being objective. Like, how dumb do we look? Are we really that slow? Like, it's very annoying. I don't like this. Anyway, let's hear if it's going to sound like a true fan or if it's just going to be a gaslighting mother.
She has created a catalog of music that's amazing, and she is a massive talent." So here was his response. In response to your questions, I want to share some important information. First, Grammy nominations are determined by the Recording Academy's 13,000 voting members. Keep that in mind. Singers, songwriters, producers, composers, engineers, and other working professionals in music. Artists and their teams submit their work for the Grammy consideration, and those 13,000 members cast their votes. The esteemed auditing firm Deloitte oversees the process and counts the votes. In each category, the top 5 finishers, or 8 in our general field categories, become the nominees.
Listen, Harvey, we do not care about who's auditing the votes. We are talking about who is influencing the votes, who is casting these votes, and who is influencing the voters. That's what we care about. We don't care about the counting. We don't care about Deloitte. It's not Deloitte that's voting. We're talking about the voters. Who is influencing them? Is there cohesion? That's what we want to know. Oh my God, it's not even about, I don't know how Deloitte is coming into this entire situation. We're not asking about that. We want to know what credentials do these 13 people have when it comes to music. And in these groups that you're talking about, is there a head of that group? Is there a chance that maybe somebody in there determines who's going to get what, who's going to be voted for, and they influence the voters to say, this is who you're going to vote for? Is there a chance that, well, of the 13,000 people, some are dummy voters? That's what we want to know. So it's not about the counting. It's not about the counting. It's not about the counting. Deloitte does not go to each and every single meeting that these guys have in as far as the Grammys are concerned. Do they now? Do they? Do they go there? Because as far as I've gathered, you have told us that Deloitte only comes in when it comes to the counting and the voting process. We want to know what happens before. What's the climate of the election? I mean, I'm sounding political because the outcome of the election is also determined by the political environment before the votes are casted. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. Let's hear what Harvey had to say. What more Harvey had to say?
He said, that's it. That's the whole process. And he said a little bit more than that, and I won't go word for word in this email exchange, but he did tell me that the voters are instructed. The voters, we're talking about the Recording Academy's 13,000 voting members, they are instructed to make their choices based solely on the music. He even mentioned earlier the summer, well, way before the voting began, he sent a letter urging them to not let any other factors such as race, gender, reputation, label, management team, or anything else cloud their elevation or their evaluation of the music.
Oh, great. Harvey sent a letter to the voters and they were found shaking, so there was no bias in there. Like, seriously, Harvey. Oh my God. Let's hear what he had to say.
He also mentioned he'd never heard one voter say a bad word about Nicki, and he said, rest assured, If he did, he wouldn't stand for it. So it seems that Harvey Mason Junior likes Nicki Minaj, and he seems like a stand-up guy to me. You know, it was just one exchange, but I'm gonna tell you, he never pushed me off to any assistant, any third party. He responded directly to me from his email address.
Great, Harvey, great. Like anybody's going to come out here saying that, well, we were coerced to not vote for Nicki Minaj, we were told to not vote for Nicki Minaj. And do these voters actually hold the same power? Like, oh, it's a thing of a hierarchy, like where there are certain people whose vote counts more than the others, like the weighting. How is the weighting of the votes? Is it the same across the board, or there are the other people whose votes are more important and way more than the other voters? And that being said, do you really think that these people are going to come out and tell you that, no, we're going to be biased against Nicki Minaj? Like, are you serious? And sis, I get it, you're being nice. But yeah, people do use their assistants sometimes, to respond to emails that they don't care about. And also there's AI. There's AI that could draft an email. And, this sounds to me like something that was drafted by AI. It's politically correct, but nothing about this is giving me genuine. I'm sorry. Nothing about this is giving me stand up. Okay. If this guy was a stand up, as you're saying, we would have seen it by the results. We would have seen it by the changes in the results, because nobody can deny that there is some form of blackballing that is happening right now. So police.
And I thought that was impressive. And so we said a lot more than that in the email. I won't read it verbatim, but we even had a moment in the email where we talked about Susan Lucci. I told him Nicki Minaj finally winning a Grammy that she deserves would be very similar to when one of daytime's favorite soap opera stars, Susan Lucci, finally won her first Emmy years ago. It was like not one dry eye in the building. She worked so hard, but she always got overlooked. And so he shared the same excitement about when Susan Lucci won. She used to be on All My Children. Yeah, I'm telling my age. But I went back and I told him, I'm going to leave you with this. I told him, Harvey, you mentioned you have never heard a Recording Academy voting member say a bad word about Nicki Minaj. That's good to know. However, remember, you are the CEO, and they probably wouldn't speak negatively and share their personal views about an artist, especially if it's a negative view, because they know it can make them appear biased and possibly stunt their ability to make a fair, sound, just decision.
Okay. You addressed it. Right question. I like the your way of reasoning. I'm okay. I'm agreeing with you on this one.
And I told him I know he's far more experienced in the industry than me, but I'm going to recommend this to him. And I said, if I were you, I'd want to look a little deeper into the Recording Academy's 13,000 voting members and see if many, or maybe a large percent of them, are anti-Nicki. I'm just being honest. Are they anti-Nicki? You got to know who is voting, who is on these committees voting, who are these 13,000 voting members.
Let me tell you, Tinsley, I know who these people are. These people are Baby Tate. Baby Tate is the 13,000 people that are voting towards Grammys. Yes, the same Baby Tate who's trying to get a place in the female rap space and cannot even seem to have her own career takeoff. The same Baby Tate who holds it against Nicki Minaj that Nicki did not acknowledge her when she did a freestyle to Nicki Minaj song. That's who is sitting in the 13,000 board. That Baby Tate. Those are the type of people that are in that board. Yes, people who have personal vendettas, against Nicki Minaj, maybe because they feel threatened, they feel like they should be in her position, they never got acknowledgement from her, they simply don't like a powerful, strong-minded black woman. Those are the people that are sitting at in the scammers board, and even some people who are mad at Nicki Minaj for refusing to sign with them. Okay, these are the people that are voting for the scammers. The people that are mad at Nicki Minaj because she said she wants a title payment. These are the voters. Yes, they're mad over title. Okay, over Nicki saying, "Pay me my coins." They're mad at that. These are the voters, Tinsley.
They're producers, they're singers, they're songwriters, they're all of that. Are they legitimate people? I mean, I would love to know. And so I told him that the answers were detailed, and we would hate that anybody would just be on that committee being biased on purpose simply because they have that one opportunity to flex their muscles and they're using it against Nicki Minaj.
Yes, you're right. They would definitely do something like that. I mean, last year we watched Baby Tate, automatically come to the Grammys defense when people were expressing the unfairness of the voting, and she was bragging, "I sit on the bird, I sit on the bird, I sit on the bird." Yet your career can never be a tenth of Nicki Minaj's career. These, yeah, they've got the ability to flex their muscle because that's the one time they get to feel like they're fixing or punishing Nicki Minaj. Yeah, so they have the potential to do that.
So he responded, and I thought that was really cool. He said, "I hear you, and I will continue to work diligently to ensure our voters are voting fairly and our body is as representative as possible." And he did tell me he was comfortable with me sharing, the way the system works, our conversation here. And he said he hopes that it clears up some misinformation out there. I want to know who those 13,000 voting members are. Who are you?
Tinsley, I told you, my name is Baby Tate. That's who I am. And my name is also the man from Fraudulent Nation. Why did Nicki Minaj call me out for Tidal? That's who I am. And last year I paid for my for my wife to get an album of the year after going on a rant to make it seem like, well, the Grammys are snubbing my wife. So I had to go on a rant first before my wife could win an award, as if I had no control over who's getting the award. Oh my God, that's who I am, Tinsley. I told you. My name is Baby Tate, and my name is the Tidal Swindler.
Because ain't no way that by now Nicki Minaj has not won or been nominated several times over the years for a Grammy. Ain't no way. Where are these 13,000 voting members at? I'll wait. You know what this shows me, though, and it makes me smile even harder for Nicki Minaj? Because this shows me it's not the Grammys hating her. It's not the CEO hating her. It's not her music. It's some of those people on that 13,000 Recording Academy voting membership squad who's responsible for this for years. That's who it is.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Just because somebody is a songwriter, producer, and stuff like that does not mean that they also don't have personal vendettas. I mean, Baby Ted, for one, we all know that she doesn't like Nicki Minaj because she didn't get acknowledgement. Now, imagine how many more people feel entitled, to Nicki Minaj to access when it comes to Nicki Minaj, or how many more people are pandering to the Tidal Swindler that just because Nicki is calling out the Tidal Swindler to pay her money, they will now hotspot that entire beef thing, and then they will take it and personalize it. And when it comes to time for voting, they are thinking that, well, by not voting for Nicki Minaj, by snubbing Nicki Minaj, we are doing right by the Tidal Swindler. How many people? How many of them? And so Harvey, this whole I'm a fan thing, I'm sorry, we're not buying it. It's crap, in my own opinion. It's crap because clearly you can tell that there's bias that is going on. And if the voting is not working, then look for musical experts. Yeah, look for musical experts for them to actually do the voting. It doesn't have to be 13,000 people. And are they even people? Are these ghost voters? How do we know that these are not ghost voters? How do you know this? And what is the criterion for you choosing that? Do I have to record a song? Because I can do what Baby Tate is doing. If I do that, will I sit on the board? Babs, it's time for us to get in the studio. I think that's the only way. We need to get into the studio. We need to record. Ali, can you be a producer? Okay, Miranda, we'll have you on the drums. Who else is there? Donnie, what are we gonna do? You're gonna be a songwriter as well. And I'm Baby Tate. I'm the female rapper. Gloria, you be the executive. Yeah, you'll be the executive, and we can all apply to vote for the scammers because it seems like there's no criterion. How are you going to ask somebody with a floppy-ass career, oh, look, I just said, a floppy behind career to be the judge of someone's music whose career is way better than theirs? Like, how can you even think that they're going to be objective in that manner? Harvey, this entire thing of asking AI to write your responses is not the response that we want. And if you keep up with this, your award show is going to become like the BETs. Anyway, people don't care about the scammers anymore like that. So I'm sure you really are beginning to see the results of you having your 13,000 talentless people I'm just kidding. But anyway, you guys, let me know in the comment section what you think about the breakdown. Once again, shout out to the person who brought this to my attention. I don't take you for granted. And for those of you who do not know how to get in touch with me, I may not be able to read all of your comments, especially during times where I'm seeing a lot of trolls. I may just decide to ignore the comments for my own peace of mind. So if you want an exclusive opportunity to tell me what you would want me to discuss, feel free to follow me on Instagram. It is at the T plug on Instagram. Please look up my page. You can send me a DM and you can tell me what you would want me to talk about. Until my next one, well, you tell me what you think about that. Do you buy anything that this man was saying? Do you think that this is a good? Because personally, I'm not here for somebody saying I'm a fan and not doing anything about objectivity. We don't care about whose fan you are. We just want objectivity. Who is the better female rapper? That's all we want. You could like the Transformer for all we care. We don't care about that. As long as you're able to keep it objective when it comes to rewarding actually talent, or if you're willing to change your scammy to likability awards, trust me, you will never see anyone complaining. If you say that, well, we're dearly beloved, we're gathered here to award the people that we like, the people that don't challenge us, the people that are okay with the crumbs, the untalented people that are okay to be with being puppets. If you say these are your awards, you will never see anyone bothering you. Harvey. Until my next one, see you.